Hello, and welcome to the President's Leadership Team for 19 and 20. This is our July 19 meeting, and it's a virtual meeting. President's Leadership Team, if you're new to it, is a place where we say thank you for the hard work. You find out the scoop on what's happening. You get more of the insights and presentations that really tell you why we're doing what we're doing. And we're going to spend a whole bunch of our time in leadership development. It's very, very important. We think leaders like yourself, most valuable resource in the institution. Note, we have the schedule already set, so please put these on your calendar. Third Wednesday, 2 to 3:30 in B116. They're 30 minutes longer to allow time for more engagement in our activities. Note, we have 9 live meetings and 2 virtual meetings, virtual being a video like this one. Leadership meetings, pretty straightforward. Team time and thank you, the scoop on what's happening, presentations, what you need to know. Bulk of the time is going to be in leadership development. And people like Katie, myself, Todd are going to be teaching that. And typically announcements and some fun things at the end. To be sure, I am a crazy scientist, and I am seeking other leaders who want to follow the crazy to make NSCC the greatest place ever to work. President's Leadership Team better not be a place where you experience death by PowerPoint. I'll shoot me before I let that happen. President's Leadership Team is a flipped learning environment. By flipped, there is presentation and engagement before every meeting and an expectation that you've prepared for the meeting. So we engage you to that preparation. This meeting in August, is being set up by the video now in July and concerns 2 topics: the goals we're setting for 19 and 20, and a lovely thing I like to call the FY 19-20 budget verification. Yay! Let's look at 19-20 goal setting. Now, at NSCC, we use SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Now, what I assume has happened is that you've done a review of your team members. There's been an evaluation on a 1 to 5 scale that we presented at a previous team meeting. We've now looked at all of that, and for the graded and union employees, we now have salary letters that have gone out. And it is time now to talk to team members about setting their goals for the coming year. So this video kicks off that process. I would say those meetings should start by saying thank you for the hard work that people do every day. And then I ask that you work collaboratively with your team members to set SMART goals together. The review that you had is a springboard to setting those goals. I read several of the reviews, and there were some wonderful goals already laid out. So that work's already been done to a large degree. We would like to focus that work on our FY 19 and 20 college goals. It mirrors that work on our 4 foci. Every person doing goals should have at least one of their goals directly connected to our college goals this year. Our theme for the year that we presented to the board recently is building a strong and sustainable future at NSCC. It is right from the listening sessions where we heard there used to be a time when we had more people here. The parking lots were fuller. We had more team members. How do we get to that place, and how do we stay in that place? And we've looked at the data. We've talked to the board and gotten feedback. We've worked pretty hard. I think we have some goals laid out that will get us to that space, and we need your help. I look at it as a 3-legged stool. The top of that stool is very much the strategic plan and the college goals of the year. That's the what of what we're doing. They're rooted in our vision, our values, our mission to create, build, help educational environments that lead to strengthening communities. At the base that makes this work is a team that is empowered, a team that's in a learning organization, a team that has the right resources, the finances to be able to take the hopes and dreams of our students and turn that into a chance for certificates and degrees that lead to a better life. So our students' hopes and dreams, the enrollments, as we like to say, our team members doing the hard work of serving them in or out of that classroom, and then the finances that connect to a reward process with our performance funding state. And we want to be rewarded well for the hard work that we're doing. And understanding the connection between the three is the big leap for us this year. These three are all connected. So we have 5 goals this year. They match the 4 foci. We've just split one out. We'll start with access, the beginning, the connection, getting students to come to our door for week, 9-week, 10-week, 1-year, 2-year degrees and certificates. Todd is going to be our gold champion. And note, we're using more college teams to get to our work. So we're creating an enrollment management team, cross-functional college team to look at segmented enrollments and how we can get them into our doors. We'll know that we've succeeded. We're looking at 100 additional FTE in the coming year. And I think we have some great ideas on how to get there. The second goal is probably the meatiest and the most important of our work, very frankly. Once we have students, how do we work with students to get on a plan, stay on a plan, and complete their plan? How do we build really cool educational environments that transform those students' hopes and dreams into really solid preparation for where they want to go as citizens as well as employees? Laurie and Cindy head up this goal, and they're also creating a college-wide team called a Success and Completion Team. So you now have 2 college-wide teams that you can connect with stuff from your area. We know that we'll be successful as graduation, retention rates go up, number of credit hours taken per semester goes up, the amount of time to degree goes down, and more of our students are transferring. The third goal is a split off. We did an access goal that had process and enrollments. That process work was really cool. We did FLAC, and we did a reinvented student engagement at the beginning process, and we've cut out the phone list. We've done some really cool things. So we're going to work with the already existing college lean team. They just did a great job on Presidents and Honor Scholars to revamp that process and get us to the place where we used to be, which is 150 of those scholarships. So that team is always looking for new processes and connections to make our work better for our students and for ourselves. They'll know that they've done a good job when they've got processes that have less steps or take less time. Dan really phrases it well. I appreciate his mentality. The more steps you have in a process, the more time in any process, more chances for things to go wrong. So the better we do that, it's not just efficiency, it's going to work better is how that goes. So really appreciate the quality of the work done by that team. The fourth goal, Katie is the champion. It's about college culture. Seen a real strong college culture in the last year. Those 10 fun events that we did and all kinds of stuff. Notice, develop and deploy a leadership curriculum for the President's Leadership Team sits on that goal. This work is connected to that goal. And we're going to continue with the engagement events, the listening sessions. We're going to have active participation in this leadership program, and we're going to continue on our competitive compensation package. I've got the last goal about the engaged community. And we really stepped into the community in a big way last year. We're going to continue that work. A couple of things we're doing more in that area. I'm going to start doing public videos to try to engage the area about the good things of NSCC. And we're going to do some pretty public 50th anniversary events. On May 9th at 2 o'clock, we will have a single graduation outside. Chancellor Randy Gardner is going to be our speaker, and that's our capstone event for the 50th year activities. So got a lot of things that we can do to show that that's working well. The work this year is kind of a bridge work to 2023. We're going to celebrate the successes of the strategic plan and the strategic planning team. A lot of green lights. We presented them this year to the board. Really good work. We're going to listen to our stakeholders and see where we are. We started that with a listening session at the all-campus meeting in June. We're going to look at strategies and trends. We're looking at that right now, kind of what's the landscape. We're going to create and execute the 1920 goals that we are laying out here, and then create 20 to 23. Strategic plans today typically are 3 years and not 4. We're going to vet those plans and have them approved by the board at our April 2020 meeting. So there'll be some homework for this. I'm asking that all President's leaders complete their goal-setting sessions, provide, I want examples at the meeting of some goals that you've worked collaboratively with your team members on that connect to the college goals. There'll be some other things we'll do as well. So that ends part one. Part two, budget verification, politely called Show Me the Money, Tom Cruise. So we're going to look at both 19 and 20, but the most important thing is verify the 20 budget. We're going to start by looking at 19, where you have been to where you're going. We're going to verify the 20 load, check on any anomalies in the budget, and set up a monthly period, as we say, monthly monitoring of the budgets that you are in charge of. Now, I can do this work in either Native Banner or Banner Self-Service. I'm going to show some snapshot examples at Banner Self-Service because, frankly, I'm not that good at Native Banner, and this is something that even a president can do. That's why I got to look at it. So open up my NSCC, and I go to Self-Service Banner, SSO, and then I pop in the Finance module and look at the budget queries. We're going to pull up a budget status by account query, and I actually have an existing query saved that I think everybody now has access to called Period Report Thompson. So it isn't my budget, but you can use it as a way to get to your budget. And I've picked out, pre-selected some columns. These are standard columns we do to look at somebody's budget. Now, this particular example looks at the 19 budget, fiscal period 12 or 13. So it's the N-year budget. Notice the chart of accounts is N for Northwest State. The fund is 11101, that is the Archibald main campus. And my org, President's count, is 1122, which shows up in the org and in the index. Typically, program is 61, and that's a autofill for people. I always check the revenue box for the auxiliary accounts as well. Now, once I do that, I get a report. You can see the report here. It's got the 19 adopted, adjustments that were made. You know, went to the board in February and adjusted the budget. Then what that adjusted budget was, how much was spent year to date, any encumbrances that are left. So that encumbrance column is important. What's hanging out there that hasn't been processed yet? That's one of those things you want to make sure gets done. And then your available balance. So you know what's left out of your budget. The sum of the available balance is called the fund balance, and that's the money not spent. We are looking to use about 150,000 of that to help balance our 20 budget. So this is all connected. Now, when I get a budget report like this, and I'm showing you the exact one I did, I go down to the bottom and I download all the ledger columns into a spreadsheet. That spreadsheet comes up looking like this. Is not pretty. It is called a CSV file. Now I'm immediately going to save as an Excel workbook so I can use that file. By the way, comma separated value, CSV, very common way to move data around. I use it from my bank to my Quicken. So it's a good way to look at data, but it doesn't look pretty. Excel, you can make data look pretty. So you're going to run a report, this is your homework, of the fiscal year 19 budget, period 12, which is the end of the year. Then you're going to repeat that for FY20, period 1, which is the first month, the budget load. Save those as Excel. So you have a 19 and a 20 Excel file. Now what I've done is open up the 19 and create a second tab, move the 20 data to the second tab. So now I got 19 and 20 in two different tabs. Then I combine that. That is, what I did was take the 19 data and then loaded the 20 column, the first column, and matched them up so the rows were the same. I hid any unnecessary data that's in there. And then I created a difference column so I could look at 20 minus 19. And if there was a dollar difference there, I know a positive difference meant more money in the 20 budget. Negative difference means less money in the 20 budget. They don't have to match perfectly, but if you see a large number, then you want to go, oh, what's up? I also create a total column at the bottom so I can see what my total budget is, what I spent last year, and what I plan to spend this year. This is the budget verification process. You do this to make sure that 19 closed well, that you've cleaned up any outstanding encumbrances, that 20 was loaded correctly, and you take a look at it for any anomalies. and I'll show you, I'm going to spot one that I found when I did it. Now, I always make it pretty. Notice I got them in a certain font here, and I highlight I use left and right justifications and put the dollar signs in. But if you look at this pretty carefully, this is the 19 budget. I loaded the 20 up, and then I did a 20 difference. And oh, look, there's like an $80,000 difference on administrative salaries. And that had to do with the transition between the president. So that immediately says, make sure that was done. Make sure it isn't the one that was in 19 isn't in 20. And then there are some other things that we did. And if you look at the column, there's about a $27,000 difference between 19 and 20. So this is your job. Load up 19, load up 20, take a peek. And then I totaled it at the bottom. President's office, by the way, is roughly a $368,000 budget. We spent more because of, again, presidential transition. We had 2 people working the job for some periods of time. And then the 20 budget is 396. So I have a pretty good idea of what my budget is, where it came from, what happened last year, and what happens this year. And I've got it in a nice, pretty sheet that I can print out and give to my team as we talk through things. So here's your homework. Did 19 close correctly? Did 20 load correctly? Was there anything between the two that looks odd to you? Have you set up a monthly verification? So when Lynn Spicer sends out the email that says the period 1 has closed, it probably happens sometime in the next, the end of July, second week of August, about August 15, 17, then run your report again, take a look and see where you are. And I would encourage you to talk to your vice president. I'm asking the vice presidents to engage all budget unit leaders regularly once a month. And we're going to have a quiz on this. We're going to talk about it, and we're going to see who did it, what did you find, and some examples of what loaded and didn't load. If there are some things that didn't load correctly and they were common, then it's a system thing. We want to make sure we fix that so it doesn't happen again next time. This is how you improve process. It also brings us more mindful to the fact that we have resources and we spend them in a way that helps the team serve our students. Notice the telephone here. It's like, I hear one, I get to another. There'll be a quiz, as I said. So both have homework and both will have a quiz. Well, that's all I've got. And this video is the first of several engagements in a leadership development for you, our President's Leadership team. We're going to focus on leadership this year. And right now, I want you to focus on setting great goals and connect them to the college goals that we're finalizing presently. Love your opinion on those. Talk to your vice president. And I want to make sure that the show me the money's working out well. 19 closed good, 20 loaded right. Off we go. Because once August and students are here and we start rolling, you don't have time to do that stuff. So this is the time to get that done. And with that, I say what I like to say in a lot of the videos that we have. Thank you for the hard work that you do every day. This is an incredible place. We did the board retreat. If you listen to the year-end review, that 15-minute presentation that would have been a board presentation, but we made it a YouTube video so everybody could see it. Oh my gosh, we've done a lot this year. It's not me, it's a whole bunch of people. So I just thank you for that hard work. And I would say it is an honor. It's a pleasure, a privilege to be your president. Thank you.